I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about social media. We're having business conversations with this friend, and basically, since she's trying to build something, I'm trying to build a new thing where I muted some people. I muted some people's stories and in posts, and some of them are my friends. Because there was a time during 2025, and I shared that in one of the episodes, where I just didn't want to see what they were doing because I felt so angry. I felt so angry and deceived and disappointed. It's not even deceived, it's disappointed by their behaviors, especially considering how 2025 has been tough for me. And this is not a statement to say that people have to stop their lives for me, but when we go back to that question of friendships, 2025 again really made me realize who could sit here with me in silence, especially when you lose a parent. I think when you lose someone anyways, regardless of, I guess, the attachment or the bond that you have with the person, it might be different. But I think a parent, regardless of like whether you hold them dear in your heart or not, it's not even a question of holding them dear in your heart. I think it's a parent. This person gave you life. This person, of course, God created you, but this person held you, carried you, cared for you the best way they can. And so for me, it's, if someone loses a parent, it's like I just stop everything and I'm just here. I sit with them, I check up on them every fucking day if I have to, even if they don't answer. I just check on them. I don't just send a message that says, I'm here if you need me. What do you mean by I'm here if you need me? What does it even mean? What does the sentence even mean? If you need me. Can you imagine some people are able to express their needs and some people can't. They don't even know they have needs. I'm one of them. Anyways, that's not the purpose. That's not the purpose of this voice. And I do realize that I still have a lot to tackle on this one. I still have a lot to, I don't know if it's a lot to process and digest, maybe still digest, but it's just something that, the sense of like, I don't understand why it's so hard. And maybe it's just so obvious for me, but again, what is obvious for me is not obvious for someone else. But anyways, I talk with my friend about business, about social media, about Instagram. And when I started 3 months ago rebuilding my presence online, I launched 3 projects at the same time. My podcast, the video portrait series. I'm in the park, it's very hilly. And my presence online, because I always been one on social media that's like, I'm just posting, it worked. Okay, then I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to replicate that. It's too much work. I don't like it. So, and I think that it gives me anxiety a bit, and I don't like being consumed by something that I haven't created. I prefer being consumed by my own creations, or by art, or by music, or by something that is like, wow, and that gives something, that does something to me on my body, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever. Even though maybe being consumed might be a bit much, but in any case, I don't like being consumed, and I don't like consuming too much content. And so it was an extra challenge for me on Instagram, because I don't have anything to share or to show. I mean, I do have things to share, hello, but I don't have anything to show for it. So the only thing I have is me, my face, my thoughts, my voice, me, not the dancer me, not the hype me, because I'm not in that energy. I think I am still the hype, but it just feels like the energy, has shifted into something that is a bit more diffused and that is a bit more, I wouldn't say honest, because I've always been I have a lot of energy. I'm like that. But I think it was dispersé, you know. I would put energy into everything and into everyone. Whilst now it's a bit more, I choose, you know. I choose because, you know, that amount of energy is not infinite. I can tell you that. And, oh, les petits chiens d'amour. And I realized that choosing is amazing. Like, choosing and really just making sure that wherever you put your energy is actually where you want to put it has been such a life changer for me over the past few months. And so now I'm choosing to put my energy in there. But when it comes to social media and Instagram, I do realize that you see me, you see my face. You don't see me dancing anymore. You don't see me making my cooking videos and all these kinds of things, because that's not what I want to do anymore. So it's in that in-between process, I think that, well, I'm learning to, first of all, accept. I mean, I love this in-between process for sure, because I think that I detached myself from that identity of just being the dancer, just being the hype, just being the woman that has her shit together. And I mean, I still have that. So I think let's just focus. Social media, let's say focus, Sabrine. Concentré. It's detachment from that, let's say visual, okay? Not the identity, because it's a big word anyways, but because I'm still a dancer, you know, and I still love dancing. But it's that visual of the dancer, the bubbly teacher, the sunny sunshine, that sort of, I don't know, I protected, I think, a lot myself. That was very English. With that, let's say, persona. So I didn't build it. I am this person. But I think I took it to the extreme, quote unquote, because I needed to, it was a system to protect myself. It was a system for people not to enter too much, not to come too close to me. And I thought that this was it, but actually no. People came too close to me. Way too many people came too close to me, and the boundary of Sabrine, the teacher, or the dancer, the professional, versus what am I allowed to when it comes to getting to know Sabrine on a personal level was very blurry. Because again, I put my energy into everything and nothing, and into everyone, and treating everything and no one and everyone the same way. Because I will admit it, I wanted to belong. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to, you know, build community, obviously, with my business. And part of it, like, everything has always been true and very honest with me. But I do realize that the mechanisms, the way I did it, wasn't really the best, or not the most sustainable. Because look at me now. And when it comes to social media, everything has a link, I promise you. When it comes to Instagram, more specifically, because the podcast, again, I'm just using my voice. The portrait series, I'm behind the camera most of the time, unless I am having the conversation with the person. And then I'm starting to feel this sort of like tension, because that whole question and self-talk of mais putain, pour qui tu te prends, like, who the fuck you think you are, comes back a bit. But with Instagram, it's like, bruh, it's you and you. You know, everything else has fallen off. Now it's really you and you. Et genre, vas-y quoi. And so when we had the conversation with my friend on Sunday, I told her that it was a bit challenging for me. Not necessarily social media. I think it was more that aspect that is really challenging, because then it's having other people see me this way, and obviously the potentiality that people just judge you. And so we got back to this sentence of judging, and she asked one question. She was like, okay, but out of the 16,000 followers that you have on your platform, who the fuck is gonna judge? And obviously I reduced it to about friends. Yeah, but what kind of friends? And I told her the friends that I actually muted. And when I did that, I realized that the friends that I actually muted not only were a total number of like maybe 4 or 5 people. And these people, I have not even, we're not really longer friends, as in those are the people, circling back to the beginning of this voice, that I have been very disappointed with, or that I have been, deceived as well. They deceived when it comes to business, when it comes to values, and that disappointment and that deception, honestly, I saw it coming such a long time ago. But again, you always someone who always just gives people another chance and another chance and another chance, because that sense of I want to be liked, I want to have friends, I want to belong, I want to learn how to accept people for who they are. Let's not remember I was bullied when I was a kid, so friendships for me is such a big still pending question, and I'm still learning at the age of 35. And I think I'm actually grateful that I've been bullied, because I think it strengthened and heightened my intuition. And again, I don't always listen to my intuition. I do listen to my intuition when it comes to my ideas and business and everything, but when it comes to people, sometimes I should just double down on listening to my intuition, because sometimes it's such a waste of time. But anyways, that's gonna be another podcast. Donc voilà. And when we did that exercise, when she said, but how many people? And I was like, 4. Okay, so what's the next action I can do with these 4 people? Very simple. I removed them from my Instagram. Guess what I did? I removed them from my Instagram. I stopped following them, and I removed them from following me, because 2026, I don't really care anymore. And not in a sense of like, fuck people, fuck this shit, but it's another way for me to actually choose myself, to actually choose my peace, my calm, and how I want to be building friendships in the future, but more importantly, how I see myself, and it might sound something very silly to just delete people, to unfollow people or anything. But for me, honestly, if I don't see you on my phone, it helps me. So let's not judge, to each their own ways of coping and of making sure that everybody feels at peace with themselves. And another thing is that whenever I have that, I either delete your number. There are 3 stages. If you have a nickname on my phone, first of all, I remove the nickname. We go back to full name, so your surname and your last name. And if I really feel like there's no effort being made, or that it's still the same, trust me, I will delete your name from my repertoire. That is for sure. Same with the pictures. Like, this is the last level, and also because I need to clean my phone, but I will delete the pictures because I don't want to see them, It's as easy as that, and for me it helps me. Again, to each their own way, but for me it helps me. But coming back to that exercise, since we did that, I promise you, it was a game changer into how I show up on social media. And maybe I'm still struggling, or like it's still a challenge for me to understand how it really works and how to package what it is that I want to say. But that's more the logistical business marketing side of it, which is another topic. But at least that sensation, that feeling of I'm taking my phone, showing up like this, and being bothered, it's like a piece of caca that is, it's like a fly that is on a piece of shit, the fly that is like and just roaming around the piece of shit. Et ben c'est ça en fait. That was this feeling. And now I really do feel like I don't have it anymore. And the amount of peace that I have is absolutely amazing.